Hi, Assalamualaikum, and welcome back, everyone, to the Spooky Hours podcast. I'm your host, Shahi Imran, and in today's episode, we have a pretty special guest with us right now, right? And I would like to introduce everyone to Mr. Najib. Mm. Right. Thank you, Shahi, for inviting me to this podcast.
No problem.
Yeah. It is an honor to be here. So, Mr. Najib, as the podcast is called Spooky Hours, so why don't you share like a simple spooky story with us tonight to set the mood before the bigger story. So, go ahead, Mr. Najib. Right. So this is a simple story when. Yeah. So the story goes that back when I was still studying at my university, um, I saw like a figure standing by the doorway while I arrived at uni like pretty early, like around 6:30. So it was pretty scary. I was just walking down the hall and I saw the figure and I was like I I can't move. So it was just standing there.
He was looking at you,
just
staring,
observing. I don't know what he wants from me, to be fair. But after a while, he just gone. So yeah, that's why it's short little story. Oh. Such a scary experience. Thank you again, Mr. Najib, for sharing it with us. So, little backstory. I was someone from Petaling Jaya. I was in a school called Sultan Abdul Samad. So, to all the people from Petaling Jaya, you know how scary that school can be at night.
Heard about that school.
So here's a little story from me, and we can move on to the final story by Mr. Najib after this. So let's begin.
Yeah.
So it was a camp. Of course, it was at night. Me and my friend were just walking around the school. Like after the curricular activity, we were just looking around to see what we can find, because we were very curious teenagers and we were hunting ghosts. So when we were walking past the surau, suddenly I heard a sound, like a drop sound, like a dropping sound. Poof. And me and my friend we looked back and we didn't see anything there. We froze. We can't move because we were too shocked to see if anything was there. And afterward, we just saw the surau door open. Right. So obviously it was in the middle of the night, and the surau is obviously not in use after the prayer. So no one was there. Obviously, even the teacher already went to sleep because it was past 11 p.m. So it's past the night curricular activity. So the door slowly opens and then shuts. Boom. And we got so scared. There's can't even count how many steps that we ran or how fast we ran.
Must have been scary.
Because we were just shocked. It was a scary experience, especially where hearing it is not as scary, but once you were there and experiencing it, it's pretty horrifying. I should say the door closing, it still plays back in the back of my mind, like every time I watch a horror movie and I remember that scene. So, to our final scary story by Mr. Najib.
Yeah.
So what will you be sharing with us, the big story, the piece de résistance for the podcast tonight. Right?
Okay.
So I'll let you take the stage, Mr. Najib. Thank you. Alright. Let me set the scene. It was when I was a little kid. I was probably around 12 to 13, and I was alone in my parents' house, and I was just home alone. It was in middle of the night, so I was just reading some books, reading some comics to pass some time, and yeah, I remember it like I remember it so clearly. So it goes that it was 12, and suddenly I heard like someone was talking like directly right outside my room. So I thought it was my parents because they said that they will be coming home late, and I'm assuming it was them, but I didn't hear any door opening or door closing. So I was getting a little suspicious, to say the least, and as a curious child that I am, I just started checking it out. I just went outside the door, and I took a little peek, and I said, "Mom, Dad." I was obviously speaking Malay. I was like, "Ma, Ayah," and then there's no response. It was just empty. Then I heard a loud sound from the kitchen. I can't tell what it was, but it was. I knew it was from the kitchen because it was like metal clanking. And I got curious. I just went outside, take a peek, and I didn't see anyone. There's literally no one there, and I got pretty scared, man. From reading this horror comic, horror mangas and whatnot. So it was a little nerve wracking, but yeah, after, and then I just saw something walk past the corridor, and I got pretty scared. I went to my room. I just locked up the door and wait until my parents get home. And they didn't get home until it's in the morning. So throughout the night, I just hear like the clanking sound, people talking, and I was pretty horrified as a child. Experiencing that, it was terrifying, to say the least. So yeah, that's my story. Alright, everyone, so that is all the time that we can spare for tonight's episode with Mr. Najib. So I want to thank Mr. Najib again for coming to this podcast tonight and spending some time with us, sharing some stories, some really bye guys, interesting stories. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching the Spooky Hour podcast, and I will see you again next episode. Bye, guys.